From Daily Trust News Center, this is News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, FCT administration demolishes Abuja suburb. Attempt to burn down Bauchi House of Assembly fails as security seals complex. As fuel queues persist, NNPC steps up supply from 70 to 140 trucks in the FCT. And on the foreign scene, China discovers 12 bodies after typhoon shipwreck off Hong Kong. Hello and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV tonight. I am Eugenia Abu. The Department of Development Control of the Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, has demolished no fewer than 25 structures in Gwarimpa, Karsana district near the MAB Global Junction for allegedly abusing the Abuja Master Plan. Ikaru Atta, the Senior Special Assistant on Monitoring, Inspection and Enforcement to the FCT Minister who supervised the demolition exercise, listed other reasons for pulling down the affected structures, to include correcting the infractions created by land grabbers, as well as curbing the use of such shanties as criminal hideouts. The demolition came as a shock to the residents, as many of them could not believe that their structures were being leveled down. Some of them were seen trying to save what was left of their belongings, while others just watched as their structures were reduced to rubble. In the meantime, the Federal Capital Territory Administration has warned against the sale of rams at unapproved locations within the city. The warning follows the surge in demand for rams as the Eid al-Fitr celebrations draw closer. Musa Luka now reports.
Eid al-Kabir is one of the festivals celebrated by Muslim faithful around the world. One of the major events that characterize the celebration is the sacrifice of rams. During the period, it has been recorded in Nigeria that there is usually a hike in prices of rams in the market. This hike, due to increased demand, makes sellers to resort to using unapproved locations like street and roadside to ply their trade because of easy accessibility and target market. Some streets within Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, are not an exception to this. Against this backdrop, the Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, has issued a warning to traders selling rams indiscriminately. Speaking to some ram sellers around Jabi Shoprite, Mahadi Abu Huraira acknowledged that the government has restricted selling of rams at indiscriminate areas. They have already requested approval from the Ministry of Environment to be allowed to sell.
We did talk with the environmental people, but we are not sure. We haven't yet come to a conclusion whether they are going to give us permit or not. So we are trying. Yeah, we are still waiting for response. Yeah.
Abu Huraira expressed delight with the nature of the ram market despite the harsh economy realities, adding that the patronage increases as the Salah draw nearer.
I will say it's somehow directly proportional to or inversely proportional to the number of days to the Salah. Earlier when we started on Thursday, the patronage was a bit small, maybe 5 to 10 people per day. As Salah is fast approaching, more people are still coming. And also due to the fact that this is our first time here, this very year, so a lot of people are not actually aware of the place. But since with the suggestion, the patronage is, I would say, it's relatively okay actually.
Other sellers in the market are hopeful that despite the increase of prices of rams, they will still find buyers, especially with the coming of the Salah. We thank Allah for patronage. Yes, we have few challenges, but basically is the restriction by government and also security challenges. The government is yet to give us full 100% go ahead to sell rams here. Our rams are cheap. They ranges from 40,000 to 150,000 depending on the size. Those that have the means used to buy 2 to 3 and even give other people there. Musa Luka Musa, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The crisis that engulfed the Bauchi State House of Assembly on Monday took another dimension as an attempt by yet-to-be-identified arsonists to burn down the complex failed. The move led to a takeover of the assembly complex by a combined team of security operatives comprising men of the Nigeria Police Force, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, and the Department of State Security. The special advisor to the Bauchi State Governor on State and National Assembly liaison, Sani Bara, confirmed the incident to journalists on Monday. Trust TV gathered that last Friday there was a leadership crisis following the demand by 22 members who passed a vote of no confidence on the Speaker and principal officers of the House. The Speaker of the Assembly, Abubakar Suleiman, who is also the Chairman, Conference of Speakers of State Legislatures of Nigeria, had recently defected from the All Progressives Congress, the party on whose platform he was elected as lawmaker to the People's Democratic Party. The Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has set up a reconciliatory committee to meet with Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State over the fallout of the party's presidential primary and crisis trailing the nomination of a running mate. Chairman of the party's BOT, Walid Jibril, who made the announcement in a statement on Sunday, said the visit to Governor Wike will take place immediately after Atiku and the PDP national chairman, Yocha Ayu, returned to the country from their vacation abroad. Jibrin described Governor Wike as a very responsible and obedient PDP member who assisted tremendously in building the party to its present status. He appealed to party members in Rivers State not to leave the party and shunned comments aimed at reducing and running down the party. The committee is to be headed by the party's presidential candidate and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and has 13 PDP governors as members. Ahead of the July 17th deadline given by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for political parties to submit the list of their candidates for the 2023 general elections, the Tinubu Support Organization has endorsed Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai as the vice presidential candidate. Bola Tinubu, the presidential candidate of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, had openly admitted that he is still searching for his running mate. Sources within the APC said the party's candidate is considering Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum or his predecessor, Senator Kashim Shettima, as preferred options. But speaking during a press conference on Monday in Kaduna, TSO's Director General, Aminu Suleiman, said the group arrived at the choice of El-Rufai after meeting with critical stakeholders from the Northwest Zone and beyond. He believes
Nigeria. His capacity is not in doubt. His personal ability, outstanding. He is firm, he is courageous, he is a principal. We know that he resisted every pressure to be dragged into the presidential race. We appreciate him and his colleagues, the APC governors from the north, for sticking to the view that gentlemen should be respect the agreements. El-Rufai is a leader whose talented and energy should be brought back to the federal level. We appeal to all leaders in the APC to support Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to choose El-Rufai as a running mate.
The Independent National Electoral Commission on Monday conducted a mock accreditation of voters ahead of the July 16th governorship election in Osun State. Hamid Oyegbade reports that residents who thronged selected designated centers for the mock voter accreditation expressed satisfaction with the exercise. At Unit 40, Ward 4, Atoja D in Oshogbo local government, the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, and the resident electoral commissioner in Osun State, Professor Abdul Ghani Raji, monitored the exercise. The INEC chairman said only the permanent voter's card would be allowed during the governorship election on July 16th and the 2023 general elections.
Regulations and guidelines. The first thing to do is maybe thumb. If it doesn't work, then use the facial. So the two can't fail. The facial, we know, is working well, and the only way it can fail is when you forget your face at home.
In another development, Osun State Police have arrested a member of the National Youth Service Corps, Orji Desmond Nkena, for allegedly diverting 38 permanent voters' cards that he was meant to distribute to owners. The Corps member is serving as an ad hoc staff at INEC office at Atakumota, West Local Government Area in Osun. Hamid Oyegbade reports that one of the residents who went to the INEC office to collect his PVC reported at the Divisional Police Headquarters in Osun that his PVC was taken by an unknown person. This led to investigations which eventually revealed that the act was perpetrated by the Corps member in connivance with some chieftains of the People's Democratic Party. The police public relations officer for the Osun State Police Command, Yemisi Opalola, confirmed the arrest of the Corps member and assured that he would be arraigned in court.
Reported at Osun Division that on 29th June 2022 at about 10 a.m. he went to Independent National Electoral Commission office, INEC, at Osun, located at Atakumasa West Local Government Area, Osun State, to collect his permanent voters card. When he got there, he couldn't find his card. He checked all the cards that were there. He couldn't check any of the cards. His name was not there. Now he demanded for the register where they will be collecting the cards and be signing. That was when he knew that his card has been signed by another person.
On the second day, a man came to me. He said he's the honorable in charge of that ward that I'm distributing the card. That I should remove the cards that is belonging to his family, and most especially his friends, so that when they come back, because they were not around, so that when they come back, he will issue the cards to them. So, of which I agree that after all the exercise, he promised to dash me money. So along the line, I told him that if I should remove each card for him, that he will give me 1,000 naira for per card. He said that one is not a problem, that I should be rest assured that after everything that he will dash me money.
In the meantime, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC office in Igweze North Local Government Area of Enugu State has been razed by arsonists. The office, situated at the council's headquarters in Ogurute, was set on fire late Sunday night. The affected building was razed to the ground. Witnesses say that the State Fire Service, which has an office at Ogurute, could not move in to save the situation until security was provided. The fire trucks from Nsukka and Ogurute were only able to prevent the fire from spreading to nearby offices. Igweze North and its neighboring Igweze South local government area had been under attack recently by gunmen suspected to be affiliated to the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. In response to the attacks, the state government has imposed a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew and has banned commercial motorcyclists in the affected local government areas. In the meantime, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has described the Sunday attack on its Igweze North Local Government Area office in Enugu State as worrisome. INEC, in a statement by its National Commissioner, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, in Abuja on Monday, said although no casualties were reported, 748 ballot boxes, 240 voting cubicles, and equipment were destroyed. Okoye said the resident electoral commissioner for Enugu State, Emeka Onanamadu, reported that the office was set ablaze by arsonists at a little before midnight on Sunday, July 3rd. He said that the commission was working to ascertain the status of voter registration machines for the ongoing continuous voter registration CVR, as well as uncollected permanent voters' cards, PVCs, locked up in the fireproof cabinet. The Independent National Electoral Commission says it has registered 248,000 citizens in Niger State in the ongoing continuous voter registration. The resident electoral commissioner in the state, Professor Sam Egu, made this known in a chat with Trust TV.
Professor Egu explained that out of the total number of newly registered voters, 229,000 were registered for the first time. He said 19,000 were those who made transfer, connections, and those whose PVC were defaced and come for replacement. The resident electoral commissioner also noted that the printed voters' cards sent to the state in the first and second quarters for the last year have been sent to the 25 local government areas for distribution to those who registered.
The cards that were printed in the first two quarters of last year have been brought to Niger, and they have been taken to the local governments, to be distributed to those who actually registered. And so we are actually making progress.
Professor Egu, however, revealed that arrangements have been made to allow internally displaced persons from security-prone local government areas in the state to participate in the exercise.
Standing UN and regional conventions, including the Kampala Convention of the AU, that makes it, compulsory for citizens, even in their displaced camps, to vote, because that has not diminished their citizenship. In fact, in 2021, the federal government of this country, signed off of a national policy on IDP voting. So we don't have a choice.
He said Niger State has recorded minimal cases of multiple registrations and assured all of a free and fair poll in 2023 election. Residents also expressed their views on the exercise.
No, the process is very good. It's going on smoothly, and the officers are attending to us, and the process is okay for now.
Away from voter registration exercise, the money laundering trial of a former governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, was on Monday stalled before a federal high court in Lagos as the trial judge, Justice Chukwujeku Aneke, was said to be attending a conference. The trial, which was fixed for continuation on Monday, will now continue on a new date. Fayose is being prosecuted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, for 6.9 billion naira fraud and money laundering charges. He was first arraigned on October the 22nd of 2018 before Justice Mojisola Olatotegun, alongside his company, Spotless Investment Limited, on 11 counts bordering on fraud and money laundering offenses. Police operatives attached to the Massacre Division have smashed a notorious syndicate of motorcycle thieves that operate between AYA Junction, FCT Abuja, and Kefi in Nasarawa State. The suspects, Aminu Adamu Mohammed, Riwanu Bala, Kebiru Usman, and Bashir A. Bashir, were all apprehended on Sunday, the 3rd of July, 2022. According to police spokesperson DSP Rahman Nansal, a blue-colored Peugeot 406 with registration number ABJ 963 NW, 2 fake police warrant cards, and 2 fake police community relations identification cards, among others, were recovered from the suspects. Preliminary investigations revealed that the group, who have confessed to have snatched over 30 bikes, often pose as police officers to dispossess commercial motorcycle riders of their motorcycles. The Niger State Governor, Abubakar Sani Bello, has suspended all mining activities in Shiroro, Munya, and Rafi local government areas of the state in view of the security challenges there. The order came less than a week after bandits attacked a mining site in Ajata Aboki village in Shiroro local government, killing dozens of security operatives and workers. The secretary to the state government, Ahmed Ibrahim Matane, said in a statement that the decision became necessary as a result of escalating insecurity in those areas in recent times, adding that the suspension remains until further notice. Residents in those areas have in recent times said that the mining sites attracted criminals that pose threats to security of lives and property. The governor therefore warned that any mining operator caught engaging in mining activities in those areas mentioned would face the full wrath of the law. President of the Nigeria Bar Association, Olumide Akpata, has urged the judiciary to entrench the principles of accountability and transparency. He stated this in his address at the Nigeria Bar Association MBA section on Legal Practice 2022 annual conference in Asaba. At the conference, with its theme, Legal Practice in Nigeria, Our Reality, Our Future, the MBA president stressed on the need for the judiciary to champion the fight for the rule of law and holding the executive arm of government accountable to the principles of fairness, equity, and justice.
The MBA does not support the National Assembly investigating the judiciary. It is the National Judicial Council that should now look into the allegations. The Supreme Court is one of the federal courts in Nigeria. If you have 14 justices making allegations against the CJN, the NJC must look into it and get to the bottom of it. I'm a lawyer. I cannot arrive at any conclusions until we get to the bottom of the matter. But nobody should be a sacred cow. Nobody should be allowed to get away in the event that they are guilty of any malfeasance or anything of that sort. But it's the National Judicial Council that should look into the matter. Good enough. The acting CJN has called for a meeting of that council. Maybe that will be one of the things that will be discussed this week.
President of the Nigeria Bar Association, Olumide Akpata. This is News Hour on Trust TV, coming up after the break. Dawanau traders call for help as grain prices skyrocket. Stay with us.
Every patriotic Nigerian should hear this. Any politician who means well for the people will never allow themselves or their supporters to engage in any violent, destructive activities. No politician who truly wants to serve the people and develop the nation will encourage his followers to destroy properties or take human lives before, during, or after the elections. The Nigerian public must watch out for these traits and isolate any politician who encourages supporters to engage in violence. No genuine politician or patriot will cause trouble and seek to destroy the very society which they aspire to lead or develop. Politicians who have the good of the people at heart will not allow themselves or their followers to engage in violence, destruction of properties, and then taking of lives. Be vigilant. By their words you shall know them. Shun violence. Stay away from politicians who want you to do so. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
Thank you for rejoining us. This is News Hour on Trust TV. A look at our top stories. FCT administration demolishes Abuja suburb. Attempt to burn down Bauchi House of Assembly fails as security seals complex. The General Authority for Civil Aviation in Saudi Arabia has extended landing permits of Nigerian Hajj carriers from July 4th to July 6th. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, Assistant Director, Public Affairs Division, Fatima Usara, made this known in a statement on Monday in Abuja. She explained that the extension is necessitated by excessive flight cancellations and flight delays. She revealed that a total of 13 flights were cancelled, with another 57 delayed takeoffs. Usara reiterated that no pilgrim would be left behind as long as that individual has valid travel documents. She appealed to intending pilgrims to remain calm and prepare for onward conveyance for the 2022 Hajj. Some intending pilgrims from Bidda local government area of Niger State would not perform this year's Hajj, as the area pilgrims officer, NMA Dangana, has failed to remit millions of naira paid into his account. Secretary of the Niger State Pilgrims Welfare Board, Omar Lapai, who confirmed the incident, said that a committee has been set up to investigate the allegations. He said about 150 intending pilgrims paid into the APU's personal bank account, as he directed them to do so instead of paying into the official designated account domiciled in the Jaiz Bank. Lapai also explained that if the allegations were found to be true, the official involved would not be allowed to travel, adding that the board would not take responsibility for monies paid into individual accounts. Meanwhile, Lapai revealed that airlifting of intended pilgrims from Niger State, earlier proposed for Minna Airport, has been moved to Abuja due to security concerns. The federal government has been called upon to find lasting solution to the continuous scarcity of premium motor spirit, known as petrol, in the Federal Capital Territory. Motorists who have been on long queues for hours made the call in an interview with Trust TV's Kabir Lawal.
The undersupply of premium motor spirit PMS, also known as petrol, in Abuja has led to over 100% hike in transport fares, commuters stranded and unproductive, and the shutting down of small-scale businesses in many parts of the Capital Territory. This is coming barely a month after Nigerians suffered fuel scarcity, which lingered for weeks, despite the federal government assurance of the sufficient stock of petroleum products for distribution across the country. Motorists who spoke to our correspondent revealed the scarcity of the premium motor spirit PMS has made life unbearable.
Honestly, I just surprised, but this whole thing that is happening for almost 2 months now, every day one have to be in a queue for not less than 3-4 hours. As it is now, I am here in this queue for not less than 2 hours now. I'm still, there's no even hope that I will still get the fuel. And this car, I'm using it to run a business. Honestly, by the reason of this fuel scarcity, has cripples down my business. I don't have any credible reason. But what I'm hearing is that they say this Pengasan Petroleum Tankers Association, that there is some money they are demanding from the government, but government have refused to pay the money. That is why the importation of fuel has been scarce.
The cause of the queue you are seeing, I think is just because of corruption. Some few people are there because they are using the opportunity to make a lot of money now. The line is very long. I think your camera can capture it. Very long. So that's where I started to reach here. But at the bin, there are maneuvering. You know, the line, maybe I will still be at the back.
A cross-section of respondents further reveals that the scarcity of petroleum commodity did not only affect the car owners, but also hampered the economic activities in the country.
They used to come and catch us and all our money, then they search our pocket and anything. Now all your fund them go leave them for you. But we think say we help people where they get cars. So you understand? If we are not in the road, cars they are stopping it.
It is hoped that the fuel crisis will be resolved soon, as it is affecting the nation's productivity. We buy the petroleum product 400 naira per litre and sell it at the rate of 3,000 to 3,500 naira to commuters. And we are calling on the federal government to find a means of curbing the fuel scarcity being witnessed in the federal Capital Territory. From Mabuchi in Abuja, Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News.
In a related development, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC, has resolved to quickly end the incessant queues at various filling stations in the Federal Capital Territory. By this resolution, the company, in collaboration with the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, stepped up the supply of premium motor spirit to the FCT from 70 to 140 trucks to combat the lingering fuel queues. Speaking to newsmen during an inspection tour of filling stations in Abuja, NNPC's Group Executive Director Downstream, Yemi Adetunji, explained that there was enough petrol in the nation's strategic reserve to last 32 days. Earlier, the CEO of NMDPRA, Farouk Ahmed, said the improvement in the supply of products from an average of 70 to 140 trucks was made possible by the presidential approval of a 10 naira freight rate discount increase to petroleum products transporters as part of solutions to the fuel supply challenge. The tour of the filling stations was to monitor developments and ensure compliance. As part of its effort to provide Nigerians with alternative energy sources, the Sahara Group says it is setting up a solar power plant in the northeast region to augment the supply of power. The Director, Governance and Sustainability, Sahara Group, Ejiro Gray, said this during an interview with Trust TV on Monday. According to Ejiro, the organization is also concerned about the implication of the shortage of gas supply on the power sector in the country.
So we're invested in the generation sector of the power sector. We're in the distribution sector as well. And we know that apart from the limitations, the infrastructure limitations that exist, one of the things that we're grappling with is gas supply. So we're proponents for that. We're at the forefront and at the vanguard of all advocacy for that, for proliferation of gas and especially supply to the power plants. We as well are ensuring that even as we also develop our assets in the upstream sector, we're ensuring that we're able to also address the gas, whether it's associated gas or non-associated gas, but ensure that we're also using our resources efficiently to be able to address these needs with the country. Now, when we talk about green energy as well, we're also looking in the space of renewable energy. And we're also working to set up power plants, a solar power plant in Maiduguri. We hope that that will come on stream before the end of next year. We're also looking at pilot projects in our DISCO, our franchise area, Ikeja Electric, to see how can we use this concept of mini grids to augment the grid supply. Because, of course, you have the supply gaps due to the constraints already in the sector. But we need to be able to close that gap. So we'll take on a modular approach to seeing what can be done in this area. We try it out. If it works, then we're able to spread it and scale up to other areas as well, and also encourage other players in the industry to take on the same approach.
Traders at Dawanau Grain Market have appealed to government to provide them with enabling environment to ease the suffering of Nigerians. The appeal followed the continuous increase in food prices in the market, despite being reputed as the largest grain market in Africa. Idris Jibrin has that report.
Tons of grains arrives and lived here by the truckloads daily, from maize, beans, rice, millet, and several others. These food crops are collated from different parts of the country and transported to many parts of Africa. Honestly, there are several countries in Africa where we take our grains from here. You see, Burkina Faso is there, Mali is there, Ghana is there, Niger is there, and several other countries in Africa where we used to take our grains from here. But traders here say there are problems in terms of government intervention. For several years, we have been calling on government to come to our rescue, to intervene and be helping us. As at some point, government will say they want to come in terms of exporting our goods to other countries of the world. But even as at that, nothing has been done. And we keep on trying, calling on government to help us, calling on government to help us. Not quite long ago, we had a meeting in which they said they will intervene so that we will be taking our, we will be having easy access to taking our goods abroad. But still, we are still having that particular problem. Government is not coming forward to assist.
Kamar a misali akwai wani lokaci can zamanin mai kalau aka zauna a wani abu aka yi menene aka zauna aka
Inside the Dawanau yam section, trucks loaded with yam heading to some countries in Africa. Market unions say yam is even exported to Saudi Arabia from Kano.
Ana kawo doya daga jihar Plateau. Akwai wacce ake kawo daga Nasarawa.
Well, we used to get yam from Plateau, Nasarawa, Benue, Niger State, among other states in the country. And when it comes here, we also used to take it from here to, let's say, from here to Zamfara, Sokoto, Katsina, Kebbi, Jigawa, and several other states in northern Nigeria. In fact, Dawanau here is the base. Wherever you plant a yam across this country, it must come to Dawanau before we begin to distribute it to other states and even to other countries. We used to take yam to even Saudi Arabia from here, to Mali, to Chad, to Niger Republic, several other countries of the world. We used to take yam from this Dawanau market to those countries and states in Nigeria. Although grains are available for export here in Dawanau market, but traders say the high cost of food items is attributed to the inability of farmers to access fertilizer and modern farming equipment. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, says a policy to checkmate the activities of parks and gardens operating within the Abuja city center are now in place. The policy, which is intended to rid the city of criminality while creating an avenue of accountability using data, is said to have a negative impact on the business of operators of the parks and gardens. Trust TV's Aisha Salihu now reports.
Relaxation at parks and gardens within the Abuja city center will henceforth not operate beyond 7 p.m. daily. This, according to the Federal Capital Territory Administration, is as a result of the criminal activities reportedly taking place in some of these spots. FCTA says it is poised to implement the park policy in line with its revalidation and accountability quest.
Some of the parks hitherto were surviving under illegality, where the original allottees went maybe and got third parties and sold and transferred on, and certain activities that ought not to be done in the parks were taking place because there are rules that binds the parks, like closing times are supposed to be 7. Then in the parks you are not supposed to erect certain structures. But in this case, you go to some of the parks here, you see they even erect structures for event centers. They do, which violates the rules because the Federal Capital Territory Administration set up that department in order to ensure that things go right in that area. So the issue, I'm saying that revalidation is good, and that was what brought about the 7 o'clock.
The Federal Capital Territory is popular for nightlife, and many of the relaxation activities take place after close of work, which is usually from late evening towards midnight. With the implementation of this policy, operators and customers risk losses.
I believe so much that it's for a security purpose, but it's going to cause us a whole lot of inconvenience. It's going to affect our workflow and the business. But since the security situation in this country is becoming overwhelming, we have absolutely no choice than to follow the directives of the government. This garden has been running for over 5 years now. And ever since we've been in this business, we've never had any experience of such. We don't do drugs, we don't sell drugs, we don't accommodate drugs addicts, as a matter of fact. Ever since we've been doing the business, everybody can attest to the fact that our services are top-notch.
As the city adjusts to the parks policy, parks and gardens operators who fail to open and shut their businesses from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. risk being sanctioned in accordance with the new provision. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Passengers are still stranded along Gombe-Bauchi Road more than 72 hours since the collapse of two bridges that link the road. The bridges collapsed last week after a heavy downpour. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail, who visited the scene Monday morning, reports that travelers were seen stranded and frustrated over the slow pace of repairs. Trust TV News Hour has reported that delay has been causing traffic out there.
It is more than 72 hours since the bridges collapsed along the Gombe-Bauchi Road near Bara village. This is a federal highway that links 6 states in the northeast. It is also a major route to the Federal Capital Territory FCT that is constantly plied by commuters. But with the collapse of the bridges, travelers do not have any alternative route but wait.
I'm about to move to Bauchi, but the collapse of this bridge, it has demoralized every business activities between Gombe, Adamawa, Taraba and Bauchi. People that are moving to maybe Abuja and the rest. So it has added more than 70 kilometers that you will go around to Darazo or follow Futuge Alkaleri. So it has really affected the activities. And for me that I'm about to move to Bauchi, I would go back and take another dimension to reach to the place that I'm going. And this bridge, as I'm looking at it now, it will maybe, as the work is going, the work is too slow, and the quantum of the work done here, in fact, is not impressive. And it will take maybe in the next 2 weeks, maybe, or 1 month before this road will be fixed in order.
I'm heading to Gombe. So because of this collapse of bridge, I was not able to travel there yesterday. I have to sleep over at Alekleri, and to reach in here this morning, see the gravity of what happened here. It has collapsed. It have disturbed my plans today, because I have a lot of places to go to today. But because of this, that plan has been delayed, and I don't know the time I will reach Gombe to continue. Probably all of today has become a waste to me.
When Trust TV approached the team leader of the company handling the project of the collapsed bridges, he said he is not ready for comment. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Trust TV News Hour will be back after this break. Do stay. Welcome back to News Hour on Trust TV. From its resumption in May 2015, the Buhari administration has taken the country through drastic economic changes. The country has passed through recession, wrestled with COVID, battled with insecurity, and still continues to deal with the effects of the Russia-Ukraine war. Comparison of prices of commodities between 2015 and 2022 clearly demonstrates how badly things have deteriorated in 7 years. Chamun Dabeng reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari recently courted controversy when he claimed that under his administration, the country had become better in comparison to 2015. Nigerians who have borne the brunt of harsh economic consequences of the administration's policies would be justified if they do not agree.
Wow, to me, that's shocking, because as if we're not in this country, we're all in this country. We know how exchange rate to start with was in 2015 to compare to now. Now dollar is almost 600 and something naira per $1, and cost of living is keep going high and high.
How can you compare 2015 to 2022? No, now you can't compare it. Okay, we are talking about bag of rice. As at then, a bag of rice was around 18,000 naira, and today a bag of rice is how much? 30,000 naira. As at then, you can easily get vehicle to a particular place at the rate of 50 naira, at the rate of 100. Now you get where you could get to a very short distance. They will tell you 150.
2015 is much better now than 2022 in all rounds. In education wise, in business, in children, in hospitality, in academy, in food, people are dying. 2015 is far, far better.
The statement by the president was met with backlash by many Nigerians who beamed a light on the struggles of the people. As Nigeria's economy continues to worsen, the question of how did things get so bad comes to mind, and more importantly, is there an end to this situation? There is no doubt insecurity and vandalism have both played a major role in Nigeria's economic woes. With such challenges, how does the country develop its infrastructure to the point of attracting foreign direct investment?
If I should say, there are various factors that has led to this. One is the management of the economy itself, because if the economy is well managed, some of where we got ourselves to be today may not be where it is today. And then the inflationary also trend, that is also there. Then thirdly, our own productivity, over reliance on everything imported, that will not do the same, because what we need for an average economy to keep starting is, production, investment. Yeah, but that's what we call, those are all have to do with what we call governance. If you have a good governance, right, which now, right now, honestly, I must say, we don't have it. If you have good governance, if you have a transparent governance, these things will be lessened. And then tackling insecurity nationwide.
The people have continued to call out government players to intensify their efforts and solve the country's problems. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Chamun continues in her trajectory of reportage on business with Business News.
Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and the Sahara Group are planning to develop and build jetties across West African countries through their joint venture business, WAGL Energy Limited, in order to increase the supply and penetration of liquefied petroleum gas, also known as cooking gas, in the sub-region. Managing Director of WAGL Energy Limited, Emmanuel Ubani, in a statement released by Sahara Energy, said discussions for the first in the lot were already advanced. He explained that the move was part of the company's attempt to capitalize on possibilities in the energy transition industry. According to him, in order for LPG to gain a large or dominating market position in sub-Saharan African countries, an enabling environment must be created. Oil marketers provided the federal government with a list of requirements that needed to be completed in order to maintain the pump price of premium motor spirit, also known as fuel, at 165 naira per litre. They contend that in order for filling stations to dispense the product at the mandated rate, the cost of the item must be sold at the permitted ex-depot price at various depots, whether private or government-owned. Despite the numerous difficulties in the downstream oil sector, they claimed private depots were dispensing the product at rates higher than those authorized by the federal government. Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority in Abuja was informed of this, and as a result, the agency asked the marketers to notify any depots that were selling PMS for more than the permitted price. Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board (NCDMB) and the National Insurance Commission (NICOM) have taken steps to ensure that the oil and gas industry uses local insurance providers by distributing insurance service guidelines to sector stakeholders. The oil and gas sector's support of local insurance providers is anticipated to keep money in the Nigerian economy that would have otherwise been spent abroad. The recommendations were announced on Monday at the Nigerian Oil and Gas Conference NOG 2022 in Abuja by the Executive Secretary of the NCDMB, Simbi Wabuti, and the Commissioner of NICOM, Mr. Sunday Thomas. The recommendations will also address any gaps that emerge through the application of the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Development Act's requirements. The statute stipulates that in order to place an insurable risk overseas, an operator must first seek and acquire NICOM's written content. He added that before issuing the approval, NICOM must ensure that all local capacity has been utilized. That's all for Business News. I am Chamun Dabing.
Thank you, Chamun. Despite being adjudged as one of the countries with the highest quality of hides and skin, Nigeria reportedly spent over 114.8 billion naira to import the commodity in 4 years. A report by the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, entitled Foreign Trade in Goods Statistics pointed out that 10.887 billion naira was splashed out on importation in 2018 and 23.34 billion naira was spent in 2019. On the other hand, 29.692 billion naira was expended in 2020, while 36.099 billion naira was paid out in 2021, while 11.824 billion naira was disbursed in the first quarter of 2022. It didn't stop the country from exporting 126.238 billion naira of the commodity in the form of raw hides and skin, leather, fur skins, and saddlery. A breakdown indicates that the commodity worth 33.7 billion naira was exported in 2018, 26.9 billion naira in 2019, 23.5 billion naira in 2020, and 37.2 billion naira in 2021, and 4.8 billion naira in the first quarter of 2021. And on the foreign scene, 12 bodies have been found following a shipwreck in the South China Sea over the weekend that left a crew of 30 missing, according to Chinese authorities. The announcement on Monday came days after an engineering vessel some 160 nautical miles southwest of Hong Kong suffered substantial damage and broke into 2 pieces during a typhoon. 3 people had been rescued on Saturday and 1 more in the early hours of Monday, according to Chinese state media, leaving 26 more people still unaccounted for. 7 planes, 246 boats, and 498 fishing vessels have been dispatched to search for the remaining missing persons, authorities have said. Barcelona has confirmed the signing of former Milan midfielder Franck Kessié on a free transfer. The Ivory Coast international will join up with his new team at camp for pre-season. Kessié built up a sterling reputation as one of the top midfielders in Italy over the last 3 years, taking his game to the next level after a permanent move to Milan. Speculation over the 25-year-old's future had been raging as he approached the final few months of his contract at San Siro, and Barca have now won the race for his signature. The Super Falcons of Nigeria on Monday lost to the South African women football team Bayana in Group C at the Africa Cup of Nations in Rabat, Morocco. Jermaine Siposwene scored first in the 60th minute to give South Africa the lead before Hilda Magai added another goal to make it 2-0 in the 62nd minute. Rashidat Ajibade pulled one back for Nigeria in the 92nd minute to reduce the tally as the match ended 2-1 in favor of the Aisha Buhari Cup champions. Nigeria ladies will hope to bounce back from the defeat when they face Botswana and Burundi in Group C remaining matches. Time now to join Adeniyi Ajishafe for more on sports.
The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has postponed the 2023 edition of the Africa Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire. President Patrice Motsepe announced the postponement of the tournament after CAF held a meeting in Rabat, Morocco. The original date of the competition has always been in January-February, but was changed by past administration of CAF under Ahmad Ahmad to June-July. In 2017, CAF announced it will move the final from their traditional January-February slot to June-July in a bid to avoid repeated disputes, with European clubs being forced to release players in the middle of the season. CAF also announced that the African Champions League, which is open to all countries in Africa, will continue alongside the new African Super League, where the top 24 teams will be determined according to their FIFA ranking. Following huge criticism by beating finalist Al Ahly, which came as an aftermath of the decision to stage this year's Champions League final in the home stadium of eventual winners Wydad Casablanca, CAF also announced that the decisive clash will return to being a two-legged format. After over half a century of staging two-leg finals, Africa's leading club match became a one-off final from 2020 to 2022. That's Sport News. I am Adeni Ajishafe.
Thank you, Adeni. And with this, we have come to the end of News Hour on Trust TV tonight. For more news, connect with us across all our social media platforms. I am Eugenia Abu. We thank you for watching.